Connection is the most important part of structural analysis. Connection is required to rigid the structure. In every end part of structure need to connection like beam to beam connection, beam to column connection, column to footing connection. In steel design there are mainly three type of connection. First one is riveted connection, second is bolted connection and third is welded connection. So this topic connection is too big to cover in a single lecture. So I am divide this topic into parts. Today's topic is riveted connection. Nowadays we are all know that the riveted connection is obsolete. For some disadvantages of this connection. So in my today's lecture I only discuss the basic concept of riveted connection. So don't skip the video and watch the full video. I think this video will be helpful for your semester exam as well as any civil engineering exam. And if you are new in my channel and you don't study in our previous videos, so please click the I button or go to my description box. Link is given. So this is Tanmoy Ghosh and you are watching my channel TG Study. So let's start today's topic. Hello everyone. Today's topic is riveted connection. In this video we will learn only basic concept of riveted connection. So at first we have to know why connections are required. First point, built up sections are provided to meet the requirement of heavy loads and long span. These sections need to be connected together to act as one unit. Second point, for a long span the length of the standard sections may not be sufficient and this needs the connection of multiple numbers of the standard length section to make up the required length. And last point, different members at their end needs connections, that is secondary beams to main beams, beams to columns and column to footing connection. So there are mainly three types of connections. First one is riveted connection, second is bolted connection and third is welded connection. So you are all understand that I only discuss riveted connection. So what is the requirement of good connections? First point, it should be rigid enough to avoid fluctuating stresses which may cause fatigue failure. Second point, it should be such that it can be easily installed, inspected and maintained. Third point, it should be such that there is the least possible weakening of the parts to be joined. Now we are enter our topic riveted connections. What is rivet? A rivet is made of round ductile steel bar piece known as shank and with a head at the one end. Here we can see this is the head and this is the shank portion of the rivet. Next, it is made of mild steel or high tensile steel. The head can be of different shapes. That is, rivet is called snap rivet, this is pan rivet, this is flat countersunk and last this is round countersunk. So rivets are mainly two types. First one is power driven riveting or we can say hot rivet and second hand driven riveting or cold rivet. And again these two types are classified into two types. Power driven soft rivet, short form is PDS, power driven field rivet, short form is PDF, and hand driven soft rivet, that is HDS, and hand driven field rivet, that is HDF. Next, there are commonly two types of rivet are used, that is snap head and flat head. So what is snap head? Here we can see this is the shank portion of the rivet. So D is diameter of rivet or you can say the shank diameter or you may call the nominal diameter of rivet. So the height of the head is 0.7 D and the length of the head is 1.6 D And what is flat head, where the height of the head is 0.25d and length of the head is 2d. So next, riveting. Riveting is method of joining together pieces of metal by inserting a ductile metal pins known as rivet into the holes of the pieces to be connected and forming a head at the end of the rivet to prevent each metal piece from coming out. Here you can see phi is denoted as nominal diameter or sunk diameter, and here small d is denoted as gross diameter, and here we can see a clearance, that is d minus phi, which is initial clearance. Some important points are taken when riveting process is done. So the shank is made of the length to the extent through the parts to be connected and with sufficient extra length for a second head to be made at the outer end. Second point, the grip length should not be more than 4d, where grip is the distance between the undersides of the two heads. Next, in this picture we can see that this is called as pitch and it is denoted as P, and this is the gauge and denoted as G. This is the edge distance and this is called end distance. So what is pitch? Pitch is the center to center distance of the adjacent rivets measured in the direction of stress. So we can say that pitch may be parallel to the applied load and the gauge is the perpendicular to applied load. Okay. Next, what is minimum pitch? The code has prescribed that P minimum or minimum pitch is equal to 2.5d, where d is nominal diameter. And what is maximum pitch? P max is equal to 32t or 300, whichever is less, where t is the thickness of the thinner outside plate. Next, what is edge distance? Here we can see this is the edge distance. Edge distance means the distance between center of the rivet hole to the adjacent edge of the member, and minimum edge is E minimum is equal to 1.5d, where capital D is equal to gross diameter of rivet. When the diameter of rivet is less than 25 mm, then the gross diameter capital D is taken small d plus 1.5, and also when the diameter of rivet is greater than 25 mm, then the gross diameter is taken capital D is equal to small d plus 2 mm. So I will give two examples so it will be clear to you. For example, if the diameter of rivet is 20 mm, then the gross diameter is 20 plus 1.5 means 21.5, and when, for example, a diameter of rivet is 30 mm, then the gross diameter capital D is taken 30 plus 2 means 32 mm. These are given from IS 800 1984. Next, what is Unwin's formula? Dmax is equal to 6 into root over T minimum, where Dmax means the maximum diameter of rivet in millimeter and T minimum means the minimum thickness of plate in millimeter. What is rivet value? The smaller of the shearing strain and bearing strain is known as rivet value. So what is shearing or bearing strain? Rivet may be failed by shear and bearing. So I will discuss in my next slide the failure of rivet. So the smaller of these two value is known as rivet value, and the number of rivet N required for the joint is given by N is equal to force by rivet value. The number of rivets in shear or number of rivets in crushing or bearing shall be equal. Next, the driven head can be formed by hand hammering or hydraulic pressure driving. Next point, rivets are driven in hot condition or you may call hot driven rivets, and the rivets are placed in workshop. It may be called as shop rivets, and also rivets are placed in the field or site. You may call field rivets. The use of cold driven rivets are limited as high pressure is required to form the head at room temperature. Next, what is efficiency of riveted joint? Ratio of the strain of the riveted joint to the strain of the unriveted or solid plate per pitch length is called efficiency of the riveted joint. The maximum efficiency is P minus D by P. The rivet materials are described in the three codes: IS 1929 1982, IS 2155 1982 and IS 1149 1982. Next, symbol. This is very important part. Symbol of rivets are essential for a field engineer to read the drawing. So there are mainly four type of rivets, and the symbols are for shop rivet and field rivet. First one is round head both side. The symbol may be for shop rivets. This symbol is hollow circle, and for the field rivet this symbol is solid circle, and so on. Next, type of riveted joint. There are mainly two types of riveted joint. First one is lap joint. A lap joint is that in which one member is placed above the other and they are connected by means of rivet. Here we can see two plates, one is pink color and one is blue color, and two plates are placed above each other. So this joint is called lap joint. Next, butt joint. A butt joint is that in which the two members are kept in alignment butting each other and a cover plate is placed either on one side or both sides. Here we can see this is the single cover butt joint. Why this is called single cover? It means here only one covered plate is placed above the main plate, and for double cover there are two cover plates are placed each other. That is, blue color is the main plate and pink color is the cover plate. So next, patterns of riveted joint. The rivets may be placed in a variety of patterns depending upon the space available for connections and the shape of the members to be connected. The most common four types of riveted pattern are used. First one is chain riveting. Here you can see the rivets are placed like chain, and 1 and 2 is the failure pattern of rivets. And second is stagger riveting. Next, third is diamond riveting. Here the picture of diamond riveting, and fourth is staggered diamond. Among these four types, diamond riveting is the best riveting. Eccentric riveted connection. When the line of action of the load does not pass through the centroid of the rivet system and thus all the rivets are not equally loaded, then the joint is said to be eccentric loaded riveted joint. Next point, the perpendicular distance between the line of action of the load P and the centroid G of the rivet system is called eccentricity E. In eccentric loaded riveted joint, the load or force resisting the moment in any rivet is inversely proportional to the distance of the center of rivet from the center of gravity of the group of the rivets. For design the eccentric loaded riveted joint, there is a formula is N is equal to root over 6m by R into P, where m is the external moment and R is the riveted value and P is the pitch of the rivets and N is number of rivets. Here we can see the m is taken as P into E. Next, there are some assumptions. First, friction between the plates is neglected. Second, the shear stress is uniform on the cross section of the rivet. Third, the distribution of direct stresses on the portion of the plates between the rivet holes is uniform. Fourth, rivets in groups subjected to direct loads share the load equally. Fifth, bending stress in the rivet is neglected. Next, rivets fill completely the holes in which they are driven. And last, bearing stress distribution is uniform and contact area is d into t, where d is nominal diameter and t is thickness of the plate. So what is the failure of riveted joint? There are mainly four types of failure. First one is tearing of plate at an edge. A joint may fall due to the tearing of plate at an edge, and this failure can be avoided by keeping the margin where m is equal to 1.5 d, where d is the diameter of riveted hole. Here we can see this condition are happen when the tearing of plate is occur. Second is tearing of plate across the rows of rivet. Due to the tensile stresses in the main plate or cover plates may tear off across a row of rivets. In such cases, we consider only one pitch length of the plate, since every rivet is responsible for that much length of the plate only. And last, the resistance offered by the plate against tearing is known as tearing resistance or tearing strength or tearing value of the plate. Here P is the pitch of the rivets, D is diameter of rivet hole, T is the thickness of the plate, and sigma T is permissible tensile stress for the plate material. We know that the tearing area per pitch length AT is equal to P minus D into T. So tearing resistance or pull required to tear off the plate per pitch length PT is equal to AT into sigma T. And finally PT is equal to P minus D into T into sigma T. When the tearing resistance Pt is greater than the applied load P per pitch length, then this type of failure will not occur. Next, third is shearing of rivets. The plates which are connected by the rivets exert tensile stress on the rivets, and if the rivets are unable to resist the stress, they are shear off. And for lap joint and single cover butt joint, the single shear is occur, and for double cover butt joint, the double shear is occur. And next, the resistance offered by a rivet to be shear off is known as shearing resistance or shearing strain, or you can say shearing value of the rivet. Here tau is the safe permissible shear stress for the rivet material, and n is the number of rivet per pitch length. So we know that S is equal to pi by 4 d square in single shear, and for double shear S is equal to 2 into pi by 4 into d square. So the formula may be for single shear PS is equal to n into pi by 4 into d square into tau, and for double shear the shearing stress is PS is equal to n into 2 into pi by 4 into d square into tau. And last is crushing or bearing of rivets. The rivets do not actually shear off under the tensile stresses, but they are crushed. Due to this, the rivet hole becomes of an oval shape, and hence the joint become loose. We can see this may be happen when the crushing or bearing of rivets is occur. The failure of rivets in such a manner is also known as bearing failure. The resistance offered by a rivet to be crushed is known as crushing resistance or crushing strain or bearing value of the rivet. Here T is the thickness of the plate, and we know that D is diameter of the rivet hole. Here sigma B is equal to safe permissible crushing or bearing stress for the rivet or plate material. N is number of rivets per pitch length under crushing, and we know that crushing area AC or bearing area AB is equal to D into T. So total crushing area N into D into T, and the crushing resistance is PB or PC is equal to N into D into T into sigma B. When the crushing resistance PC or bearing resistance PB is greater than the applied load P per pitch length, this type of failure will occur. So the formula is very important for a semester exam as well as some civil engineering jobs. So next, some advantages of riveted connections. First is the process of riveting is easy. Rivet connections are permanent in nature, cheaper fabrication cost, and last, riveted connections are possible without electricity in remote area. And also there are some disadvantages of riveted connection. High level of noise occur. The installation cost is high. The skill work necessary for inspection of connections. The cost involved in careful inspection and removal of purely installed rivets, and the labor cost is high. So for these disadvantages, nowadays riveted connections are obsolete. And also I add 2 points. In riveting, the original strength of the structural members may reduce. And the other point is the remaining two connections, that is welded connection and bolted connection, is cheaper and faster than the riveted connections. So that's all for today's lecture. I will be right back very soon with some civil engineering topics. So keep support and watching my channel TG Study. So thanks for watching. Thank you everyone.